Hello and welcome to the third episode of ReRacked, the only snooker podcast where we acknowledge. Thank you. Welcome to the third episode of ReRacked, the only snooker podcast where we acknowledge that White Lightning is indeed better than the Thunder from Down Under. Sorry, Rob.
Ouch.
To be fair, I did have on the script wind Rob about Lightning being better than Thunder. As usual, I've got some brilliant guests with me, and we're going to have another guest a bit later on. Got Catherine, Glenn, and if you don't mind me saying, for the last time, I believe, Lorenzo.
Indeed.
We're going to miss you.
I'll miss you too. This was great fun the last time. I've just had so much on the last week or so, I didn't get a chance to do the other one.
That's fine.
We missed you. We did miss you.
I feel loved. Doesn't happen often.
To be fair, though, we did have nice things to say about John Higgins, so...
Yeah. Can't fault that. There's just positive thoughts for tonight when he's against Sean, unless you're a Sean Murphy supporter. Then I'm leaving.
It's going to be a good one.
Hopefully, hopefully 5-0 to John.
Hard to call a winner of it.
No, I know. It should be a great game because Murphy's been in fine form for a while now. So, and seems John is sort of coming back a little bit to what we're used to. So we shall see.
Yeah, I mean, Murphy is just irresistible against Rossby all this morning by looks of the scores. Every mistake was punished.
What was the score for the Murphy match?
5-0.
Oh.
Sorry.
Who was it? Who did? Sorry, I haven't watched anything today. I've been so busy. So I'm trying to catch up. I watched Judd, and it didn't go the way I wanted. So I went outside.
It didn't go the way I wanted either.
You what? Sorry.
I was laughing my little cotton socks off at 4-0.
Yeah, too good to be true. And then I just saw it happening. I was just like, no. Yeah. Anyway.
Not that I was actually watching that match because for some reason I seem to find myself constantly drawn to Welsh players. So instead I was watching a cracking match between Ricky Walden and Michael White.
Who won?
Walden 5-4.
Oh, close.
And I missed pretty much the entire decider.
You what?
I missed pretty much the entire decider.
Sorry, I can't. My phone is playing up. Hold on. Sorry.
I'll tell you in chat.
Yeah, no, my speaker's not working very well, it seems. But okay, as long as everyone can hear me.
Yeah, it seemed like a cracking match, that Ricky Walden and Michael White.
It really was. Walden went 3-0 up. Then Michael out of nowhere made a 1-3-5. Got back to 3 each. The 7th frame, Walden flukes a long red at the start of the frame, makes 80 odd.
Yeah, he has been putting in some big breaks over the last couple of days.
He has. Then Michael got back to 4 each despite a horrible sounding miscue in the end.
There's a lot of miscues in this tournament already.
There is, yeah.
I keep blaming Tom Chalk, or however you pronounce it. Yeah. I don't know if everyone... Sorry, Phil.
I blame society.
You blame society?
Yeah. Just their fault.
I think that is a whole new podcast. That's a whole new different show, isn't it?
Yeah. Society ReRacked coming soon to a podcast channel nowhere near you.
It's Phil Robinson's existential crisis.
Something like that. So
I keep watching all the matches that seem to finish 5-0. So I've not really seen anything that was massively interesting, if I'm honest with you.
just going to go through quickly these current scores. So the 2:30 session at the moment, we have Andy Hamilton 1, Mark Selby 1, Ben Mertens 3, David Gilbert 2. Oh, that might be about to become 4-2 because Mertens just needs a pink. Ben Mertens 4, Dave Gilbert 2.
See, that's what I wanted to watch. That's on the TV tables.
Yeah. Andy Hicks 1, Lou Howshan 3, Mark Williams 2, Jimmy Robertson 2. I have no idea why that's on TV table. Jimmy's record against Williams is, I'm going to be polite and say bad.
No, it's shocking.
Yeah.
It's pretty random.
Like Wakelin and Jed, I found out this morning that they played 11 times and Jed has won 11 times.
Yeah. Somehow I think Jimmy's record against Williams might actually be worse.
Like, yeah. Like, I don't know why. I have a feeling Jimmy Robinson's going to win today. I will just say that now. I felt that this morning.
It makes change.
Just, yeah, so, I don't know. Like, because Wakelin didn't, I got a feeling that he will. Jimmy will. So we'll see.
Anyway, Zhao Guodong 2, Ashley Hugill 2, and Robbie Williams 3, Luca Bachel 2. Enzo, you got a very good match yesterday, Rishpreet Singh.
I missed that as well.
I've been watching Luca a bit more because of with him being on the TV table, and he's doing all right now. He started off a bit slow, but he doesn't seem to have affected him this break and everything. He seems to just be back to how he was.
Has he got his cue back?
Not yet.
No, not yet.
He's a different one. It doesn't seem to affect him too badly.
No, just like maybe more psychological than anything. I don't know because I'm not at one with my cue, so to speak, as they are. But I can imagine, obviously, like it throws the side off and it's different weight and everything. But I reckon a lot of stuff is in the mind because it's it's your cue that you've used for however long and it's gone. And it's a big deal.
There's been a lot of problems with cues getting lost and stuff, though, haven't there?
But was Andres Petrov, who had an issue with that. Neil Robinson got his cue back literally hours before his match, and Lucas still not got his back after it went missing somewhere on the plane from Germany to America.
Yeah, I think Dean Young's went missing as well.
Oh, yeah, Dean Young's went missing. He ended up playing Lee Heathcote's cue.
Yeah.
Are all of those for that tournament? This tournament now? Four people?
Yeah.
Lucas, I think, went missing over a close season.
Right.
And hasn't turned up yet.
He was hanging out with like the game and stuff on a boat, wasn't he? He's like been living it up.
And see, Sean Murphy mentioned that he's hoping to use a couple of cues in the future.
Yeah.
Depending on the conditions.
To think we laughed when Luca brought 2 out at the Masters.
Yeah, honestly, I know it's from our perspective, I kind of think, why not? Why doesn't this happen sooner? Like replica cues, like they're pretty much identical. So like if you lose one or the tip goes, you can just bring out your other one. I don't know. I would have 2 cues though, probably.
And the thing is, if someone who's in the form that Murphy's in is talking about doing it, there must be some sort of logic to it.
Yeah.
I'm very surprised we haven't really seen it before. Like, it seems to just make sense, like that you would have a couple of cues, but
John Paris is going to absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I've seen a few people saying it's just an extended advert for John Paris, who
he'll be uploading like 3 or 4 pictures every time Sean wins. Here's Sean with all of his Paris cues.
Yeah. John Paris doesn't need an advert. Everyone in the snooker community knows who he is. He's the single most famous cue maker in the world.
Yes.
Well, if he carries on like this, he's going to be able to afford a holiday home, isn't he?
Yeah. Like, you can go global. You can open a store in America or something, you know?
My worry is if he makes too much money, he'll just stop making cues.
I
And
feel like
then
it's probably the
everyone gets
passion.
screwed.
He loves it. I think he loves it.
Yeah, but a good article of him over closely, and I think it's in the Guardian newspaper in the UK for anyone listening who isn't from these shores. But it's a very good article about how he learned to make cues by making mistakes.
Yeah.
Well, it's usually the best way to learn anything, to be fair.
Exactly.
Trial and error.
So,
Did anybody watch Will Snooker's interview with Luca?
no.
Yeah.
I've watched Hendry's exhibition with him, but I've not watched snooker one.
No, but this is it. I just wondered because I've also watched just Stephen Henry's, and I haven't bothered with Will Snooker's, and I just wondered if anyone else has done the same. If that's sort of the first one you go to would be like, oh, Stephen's got a video, let's check that out before Will Snooker.
I think I would go to Stephen Hendry first.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would. It seems to be very popular.
Yeah, 'cause I just missed, I think it was yesterday, Will Snooker's interview with him when he was driving in his Ferrari was like maybe like 10,000 views, and Stephen Henry's videos was like over 100,000.
Yeah.
You know, like he's doing so well.
The only reason that I've not watched, I watched the Hendry one instead of the World Snooker one. This is kind of funny. It's because the Hendry one was one video, and the World Snooker one was in 3 parts, and I couldn't bother rounding the 3 parts up.
I feel that.
Luca's just equalised.
Oh, thank you.
3-3?
Yeah, it's 3-3.
What's the Willow game? Does anybody know? That's the one I'm keeping my eye on. Well,
Hang on. I'll tell you. Just bear with, because my internet's going really slow. Do carry on, by the way. Oh, it's 3-2 to Mark Williams.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Robertson's at the table. So.
In fairness, you can kind of understand why Henry's videos are so much more popular than maybe World Snooker's, just 'cause it's the laid back chat, and like they're playing a frame at the time, so there's no real pressure on it. It's just kind of like two lads having a game of snooker, having a chat, and I think that's what comes across so well.
It does. It's just more appealing rather than the professional interviewer trying their best. You know, there's no sort of casualness, laughing, and like you do with Stephen Henry, because he knows everyone and he knows the game inside out, and he can talk about other things that other people can't. And like he's become a brilliant broadcaster, I think, since retiring.
Yeah, he really has.
Well, they don't kill me saying he's a better broadcaster than a player now.
Absolutely.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like, I still get so excited to watch him, but then it's such a come down when I watch him play, and it makes me sad.
You get excited to watch him, and then you're very disappointed when you realise it's not 1995 anymore.
Yeah.
I'm quite often disappointed that it's not 1995 anymore, but maybe that's different reasons.
I'm quite thankful it's not. I wasn't born.
So like I'd be 10. So
oh please.
Was anyone else here not born in 1995?
We all know I'm old, all right.
Was anyone else here not born in 1995?
You were born in 1995?
I was 1996.
I was born in 96. I was just asking if anyone else was not alive then.
It's like, am I the second oldest behind Catherine? Am I?
I'm just hearing my capacity as living memory, aren't I?
So, Catherine, what were things like in the olden days?
Oh, I'm now sulking. I'm pouting now. I'm just going to turn the hearing aid up.
Now,
I'll tell you what, in the olden days, the scoring system used to work properly.
It did.
Yeah.
And you even had teletext.
Exactly, we had a right backup. There's nothing wrong with teletext, I tell you.
No,
that didn't work you down.
Bring back teletext. That's what we need to run a campaign for.
Lou Heathcote yesterday on Twitter, Lou Heathcote, he was mourning the loss of the old scoring system.
Yeah, just like, you know, I don't get it personally. I don't understand. I'm not a technical person, but I don't understand why they've changed something and it just isn't working like all the time.
The reason they've changed it was because they're hoping to have a new scoring system ready for the start of this season, but then the sort of website lease on the old one ran out without them realising. So they basically had to scramble to put a temporary one together.
Right. So the old one, what was wrong with the old one?
It's something to do with the fact they lost the lease rights to it. The lease.
Oh, right. God, renew it.
Just stop playing with it. Just stop playing with it. It'll break.
Yeah.
It's true for a lot of things. But
they had it working.
I was going to say they'll go blind.
Was that?
I'm glad you said that, not me.
Was that?
Yeah. Just they have to stop playing with it, otherwise they'll go blind. Maybe edit it.
We are a mature podcast.
Not
Sorry,
today.
Phil. Sorry, Phil.
Who the hell am I kidding?
If there's a tone to be lowered, I'll lower it. Don't worry.
Don't worry, I will.
So don't worry.
Now, just want to say, if people who are listening to this in future are wondering why Selby and Hamilton are so far behind everyone else, Selby's just gone 2-1 up. Why they're much so far behind everyone else? Firstly, you have seen Mark Selby and Anthony Hamilton play, haven't you? And secondly, I would like to point out their match began about 54 minutes late. Because they broke the scoreboard.
So more scoring problems.
Yes. And rather than get, I don't know, some sort of computer expert to sort it, what do? Send Paul Collier and Jan Verhaas out to sort it.
That's like them getting me to set the table up, like, oh, we need a table fitted. That's this guy. You know, I can't do that. I don't know what I'm doing. It's honestly
a flipboard and a couple of bits of paper. It'll be fine.
You run down to the snooker hall and grab one of those things off the wall that you just move the dial up.
Yeah, exactly. That's
a massive one of those.
It's like having your house wired by your fitness instructor.
Oh, don't talk to me about house valuing. Honestly, it's a very sore subject.
When did they have the new scoring system up?
They're hoping to have it up in November, but with their track record of getting things done, I'm not exactly holding them breath.
Easter then.
Yes.
This time next year.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go for the World Championship.
We're not saying Easter what year. We're just saying by an Easter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, just want to mention, there has been some travel problems with players as well. Not in terms of getting there, but in terms of late call-ups. Stephen Hallworth had a mad dash to get there for his match, and then had what was apparently a very extreme match with Sean Murphy.
Yeah, I did read about that.
Mm.
And Hussein Rafai got his visa about 24 hours before his match was due to start. So he had to dash to London, grab his visa, get straight on a plane to Germany, and go straight to the arena.
Yeah, and then lose 5-0.
To Alan Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's still jet lagged.
Like, do you know if players have to sort their own visas out?
As far as I'm aware, players have to sort their own visas out, which is quite frankly ridiculous. I don't think Rafai's ever played in Germany before.
Like, there needs to be someone, because like I assume, because like there was an article, I can't remember who's it about, but basically saying that the British players, when they come to China, get treated way better than the Chinese players when they are there.
Yeah, I think
and they get all their visas sorted. They get they get all their visas sorted, you know, or they don't have to do anything. And I feel there should be someone within World Snooker who sorts all the European players' visas out, or Chinese players, who you know, whoever needs a visa, there should be a visa team running World Snooker, just like there should be translators.
Yeah, like professional sports players, I can't believe they have to sort out their own visas themselves.
Yeah, like
Especially
I think that's madness.
Imagine someone like Hussein Rafai saying, "My name's Hussein Rafai. I am the 15th or 16th best snooker player in the world by merit, and I can't play in a tournament because I happen to be from Iran."
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like
I'm not famous enough.
it just must be so different as well. I don't know, from my point of view, like I can't do forms. Forms give me terrors, and like I wouldn't be able to fill out a visa form for myself to go somewhere. And I don't know, not everyone is is English is a second language. It could be just a whole massive process that's really sort of anxiety ridden and things. And you shouldn't have to go through that. This is a sport that he plays to make his living, and it should be done for him, I believe.
Yeah, or at the very least, there should be someone talking to the sort of embassies or what have you, or immigration forces, and saying, "Look, we are having an event here at this time. Here are the nationalities of our players. Here are their details. We would like confirmation that they will be allowed in when it comes to a tournament."
Yeah. I can't imagine football players have to, as a team individually sort out all their visas to play every match. It's just done for them, and they just get on a plane.
Yeah, exactly.
Snooker is just so behind many sports on so many levels.
Yeah, and just want to go from players who barely made it to a player who decided at the last minute he didn't want to bother turning up, Mr. O'Sullivan. Now, I've ragged on Ronnie a bit in the past for not turning up to events. Thing is, if Ronnie doesn't want to turn up, that is his prerogative. If he doesn't want to take the opportunity, if he can't be bothered, or there's something wrong with him, that's his prerogative. But there has to be a system to avoid all these walkovers.
Yeah. Players wouldn't probably. They probably disagree with that. I don't know. Do players like getting sort of a buy into the next round?
Well, I don't think Andy Hicks was too bothered about it. I would imagine he'll take that.
Yeah, like he doesn't get a match to warm up with, I guess, but he's extra cash, extra points.
Exactly.
Well, the thing is, it's not just taking away from players; it's taking away from the fans. How many fans in Germany would have paid good money to go down there on a basically booked an evening to go down to snooker to watch Ronnie, and at the last minute he decides he can't bother coming.
Yeah.
Do we actually know why? Yeah.
Problems.
I don't think to give a proper reason why. So I'm not really sure.
No, like my first thing was whenever he says health problems, I know he had stomach problems and he was having tests like a few months back.
Right.
I assume there's something to do with that.
I mean, all I knew was that it was announced on Twitter that Dave Hendon said on commentary that Ronnie pulled out for reasons.
Right.
Like he'd probably get fined, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to give him the benefit of the doubt this early in the season. I know he's got this track record, but I mean, if it is, if he is ill, then he's obviously not going to be able to travel there, let alone go out and then play. So,
yeah, and I can't imagine him wanting to give up his number one spot that easily as well.
As much as he said, he really cares about the world number one spot at this point in his career.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think he does. I think he bothers about it a bit more than he'd let on.
Absolutely. I've said this on Twitter, right? But like when I was doing my therapy, there's a sort of thing, this opposite action. And you say something different to what you feel, so it changes it. So, all the time he's going around saying, I don't care about all these records, blah, blah, I don't care what tournament. And that is just sort of doing an opposite action to how you feel. And it's taking the pressure off. And that's what we're supposed to do, what we were told in therapy. And that's what I feel he's doing.
Yeah, like he likes to let it on that he's not too bothered about these things, but I think deep down he is big, like really bothered about it. So
Absolutely, and he's a perfectionist as well. He wants to get everything right, and if he doesn't, if he gets 99, he's not happy because he missed the century, or
yeah,
there's that part of it, and part of me thinks there's something going on. I don't want to be like a rumor mill, but like I think I read that he split up with his girlfriend again or something. I don't know. Maybe edit that out because I'm just spreading lies.
Yeah, it's weird. I keep hearing either he split up with his girlfriend or he's got back together with her. I never know what's true on what particular day.
Yeah, the rumor mill circles.
Indeed. But anyway, I'm sure it'll be fine. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just that one tournament. It's. I mean, my first thought was the same with like the fans and everything. They turned up, wanting to see him, and I'd be pretty peed off if it was me. But at the same time, if he's ill, I wouldn't want to watch my favorite players, going out and playing when they're not 100% healthy, and it's not very well. It's not good. I mean, we saw Robbo playing some matches last season and he didn't look well at all. He had this horrible virus and it just he's not going to win, so there's not much point turning. Sorry?
I said I wonder if he's still got a little bit of a hangover from it because like he's not like doing that well.
Well, I mean he had a horrible, to be fair.
Yeah.
So I mean,
yesterday it didn't help that he nearly didn't make it to a venue.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his Q drama.
Yeah, and this time it wasn't his fault. Hint, hint, Barnsley.
I mean, everyone knows where Barnsley is, surely.
I don't.
And you do because you live in Yorkshire, but
that's where I'm from, exactly.
All right. I'd hope you know where Barnsley is then.
Well, exactly.
It's like me think, yeah, I know where Manchester is. I should do.
I mean, he's been there enough times, but yeah. I don't know. He's never lived that down, has he? Because the first comments were all like, "Oh yeah, really? Did you go to the right Nuremberg this time?" That kind of thing.
Yeah, this time it was the taxi driver's fault.
Yeah.
Somehow getting the venue confused with a football stadium.
Oh.
I don't know exactly how that works, but
anyway. But he got there, and yeah, I think there was a lot of drama going on.
Yeah, he's one of those. I feel like he bogs himself down with overthinking things anyway. So, like maybe his mind just wasn't as fresh as it needed to be for that match in particular.
I mean, to be fair, there's been a few sort of quite surprising results, whether it's the margins of the win or who's winning. So. Yeah, but I suppose, the first big event of the season is always going to go that way. So,
yeah. And like a few people didn't play in the Championship League, like Neil. So he's not warmed up. This is his first sort of go.
Yeah.
Was it a qualifier that was held over as well?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of qualifiers being held over. I never really understand.
I'm not.
So you get to see them at the venue, I guess, isn't it? Just in case they all get knocked out.
Yeah. But still.
Remember, what was that tournament where everyone was knocked out and everyone was moaning about it? It was last year. I can't remember.
I've forgotten.
So it wasn't. No, it was one of the ITV events. It was, and all the big men hadn't made it, and like they've now changed the format this year.
The top eight in the 1 year ranking, was it?
Yeah.
Was it something to do with Tour Championship or?
Yeah, but none of them qualified for it. Well, a lot of the top players didn't qualify.
Yeah, sort of the big names, the draws that bring in the crowds weren't there, and because of that, it was quite empty. And I think they changed location as well from the previous year. And they was like empty most of the week, and it just looked awful. And now they've changed the format for it. I think now there's like 4 extra places or something for it.
Yeah,
they changed the venue as well.
Yeah,
I don't think they're going back there, are they?
No.
And the changing venues handy for me if I want to go there, because I'm going to be going to mixed doubles in Manchester shortly before that. So I might pick up a Tour Championship ticket as well for still some nearer time.
Nice.
Because obviously it's basically stone's throw from where I live. It's 10 minutes on a bus.
Yeah, you could go every day.
Andy?
Yeah.
I've got tickets for both days of mixed doubles, so because I really enjoyed watching that last year.
I loved the doubles as well. I thought it was great. We need more of it.
I agree.
It should have been a bigger event. I guess, like, to start off, it was okay because it was just, 4 of the big names and 4 women, the big names.
Well,
but I would have preferred, like, 16 men, 16 women paired up and like
I mean,
make a
it is a
2-week
bigger
thing
event
of
this
it.
year because I think it's the top 8 men and women this year in the
Oh,
rankings.
they're expanding it, are they?
I believe so. I believe they said it's top 8 of each this year.
Okay, that's good. Happy with
I
that.
can't wait until about February when all the drama of making fun of the fact they can't pair Mark and Rhiannon Evans up starting. Even though they split up years ago, get the flip over it.
Well, I know. Well,
Please
they're
don't do
not
anyone
compared
else.
to that.
So, just trying to think of any other news in terms of European Masters. Oh, yes. Jack Lesowski still can't win a decider.
You can't what?
Oh,
Jack Lesowski still can't win a decider.
Oh, right. Ah,
disappointing.
yeah,
He's got all the talent in the world. He just can't seem to get over the line in tight matches. I think we're saying on Twitter, I forget who was talking to me, but we're saying that for all his talent, Jack would probably give most of his talent up. Just have a little bit of Michael White's bottle.
Yeah, 100%.
yeah. Like, I don't know if it's necessarily his bottle, but like, he lost 6 finals. That's gonna psychologically beat you down. And
if I think about 5 of those were to Trump in the same year, that year where
yeah,
Trump was basically unbeatable until Worlds.
but like, I think it's all a mental thing for, like, personally, because like, he joins up with Peter Ebdon, and all the interviews about Peter Ebdon, what's Peter Ebdon doing, what's in his notepad, it's taken, and then it's all like, when is he going to win one? He's the focus of who's, when's he going to win this first event? And I think there's just a lot of pressure and stuff on him, and like, yeah, I don't know what you can do about it, but
Is there look at his results since we known he's been paired with Rebden? He's going backwards.
well, he had the good run, like, in the Worlds when he's was it Higgins that just beat him by the odd frame, maybe 2 frames.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
Higgins beat him in
like he beat Neil.
quarters, having been comprehensively outplayed by Osowski for 3 sessions.
Yeah, it's just like there was something there, but I think that kind of may have got lost, just through media interviews and the focus on him, and also I think 2 or 3 other people started with working with Peter Ebdon as well, so the focus goes. So I find it weird when, like, one coach has like 4 or 5 different players, like when Selby and Murphy were in the final. That was just so strange.
Yeah, I don't like that. Like, it's, if you were in the coach's position, how do you prepare 2 players to play against each other in a match? Like, it just doesn't make sense, I don't think.
Because you go in one room, tell them one thing, and then go in the other room to tell them how to beat them by what you just told the other person. It doesn't make sense, because there's a personal bias will come into it as well.
The match with McGill at Worlds was so weird because Brian Kolosowski looked very good in round 1. I think he's up against Sankam, won a very good match. Against McGill, he generally just looked like he wanted to be anywhere else.
Yeah, like McGill's a different type of animal, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like McGill's even grinding him down much. Lesowski is just giving away chances for free. Like they're going out of fashion.
Yeah, that's psychologically it's what the Crucible does to people. It's just the venue, everything. But like, wasn't McGill working with Ebdon, or did I just make that up?
No, he was. Yeah, he was as well. Yeah.
So that might be a thing. Oh, he works with Peter and I work with Peter, and that could play a part in it all.
I think is Jack finished with Hebden now, or I don't know.
Like, I feel like there's rumors that he has, but I haven't seen anything confirmed, at least. So I don't know.
I've not heard anything to do with that, but
Yeah, like, I'd love to see Henry take on someone under his wing, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
I think that'll be the next thing we'll see. Because Henry, he knows how to win or what's needed to win. So
Exactly. But I think he'd be a great coach to just like one person, kind of like how Ray Reardon was with Ronnie, completely like changed his career. Just like not everyone is made to be, not every snooker player is made to be a coach. So I don't know if Peter Ebdon is cut out because like all his players, are they even getting results?
It's weird because when I heard that Lasowski and then later McGill have been working with Ebden, my first thought was, does that mean you stop whispering to horses now?
Probably not.
Because I know he
Give
wants
them
us
more money to buy more horses to whisper to.
I say he wants us a bit cocky over COVID. He's always had a reputation of being a little bit. I'm trying to find a nice way to put this. Can someone help me out, please?
Eccentric.
That's it, eccentric. He's always had a reputation of being a little bit eccentric and offbeat. But
I loved him when I was growing up, watching him play before he was slow.
I did.
Like, he just had something, and like I don't know if anyone can remember when I think he threw his cue on the floor and sort of offered the fight to some guy in the audience. Can anyone remember this?
Yes, I remember that.
That was oh my god! Look it up on YouTube. I don't know what you'd search for, but when people throw their arms up in the air and offer a fight out, he like threw his cue on the floor and then just raised his arms like he wanted to fight some guy in the crowd. And like I remember watching it, and I was just like, "Oh my god, this guy is nuts!" Like
he was the first one to sort of start doing the shouting and the sort of gesticulating and the commands, and that divided a lot of opinion as well.
I mean, Ebden, my one abiding memory of Ebden is the 2002 World Series final when the decider he basically just went complete psycho mode and started potting everything.
Was that with the pink or no?
I think so. The amount of ridiculous balls he potted was unbelievable in that match. I think the entire match is on YouTube, so you can catch it if they want to. But
I watched it during lockdown. I watched so much snooker in lockdown. YouTube is amazing.
I've got a playlist on YouTube of different eras: 2000, 2205, 5 to 10.
What are they? Sorry,
I've got different playlists on YouTube of eras of snooker.
Nice. Yeah, it's got to be organised.
Yeah. Anyway, we're going to move on to our big topic, I think, because for the first time, we have a special guest. Well, more special than all of us anyway. So, Stephen, if you want to take it away.
Hello, and thank you very much for welcoming me on. It is a special thing to be your very first guest. I think in the annals of history, when you have thousands of guests on, I'll be walking around claiming that I was the very first.
It's great to have you. So you've started this website, Pack of Reds.
Yeah, sorry, just very interesting to hear you all talking about your ages and things, and now I feel like I'm the really old guy that has joined the call. I think,
am I not the oldest?
Oh, we've got a new leader.
Well, I'm a 70s kid, Catherine.
Oh, yes. Excellent.
I think I was trying to work out, I think my wardrobe is older than most of you guys.
I would hope not.
So we've got 70s, 80s, and 90s, have we?
Yep. Oh, I only started watching into about 204.
So that's a good range, though.
I was actually flicking on TikTok this morning, and the 85 final kit was on, just showing the colors, and I can sort of recall actually watching that live. I think I was 6 at the time, so I might have got it wrong, or I was watching a recording of it. But I remember that time anyway, because I'm originally from Northern Ireland, not a million miles away from where Dennis Taylor was from. and that was a pretty big deal at the time.
Oh yeah, like well, it still is. I guess
Yeah.
the 85 final is so iconic, and it'll just live on forever.
Talking about snooker memories, I know when Mum's talked about staying up late to watch the end of the 85 final because I think she had school the next day.
Yeah, so did I. I did that.
I think she also mentioned that she saw Cliff Forbin's 147, the famous one. And my bad memory of that isn't the good luck mate from Jack Carnham, was it in the commentary?
Ted Lowe, was it?
It's Ted Lowe, I think.
All right. My abiding memory of it is actually Big Bill Werbnook just peeking around the curtain.
Yes. Yeah, I've seen that.
Like a big shy teddy bear. But anyway, Stephen, you've launched this website, packofreds.com. Would you like to explain to us what this is?
Yeah, sure. So packofreds.com, like you say, is a website, but also a competitions platform. So somewhere that anybody can create a competition where for Q Sports, where they can invite people that maybe they work with, your friends, maybe your old college mates or something like that. Um, Anybody, or even for a fundraiser, and just create a competition which then allows people to uh, have competitions in their local Q Sports venues. They're able to take payment. They're able to see the fixtures, set the fixtures in whichever competition format they like, whether it's a knockout or a league or a combination of both. And yeah, just generally make it as easy as possible for people to start getting back into playing Q Sports regularly. I'll give people a way to actually get in for the first time, maybe, to a Q Sports venue. Uh, because what we found, or what I found in research that I did, a lot of people are worried about going into Q Sports venues. Maybe because there's a reputation that has built up through the movies and history before, but it seems to be there. And though at the same time, when we get people into venues and playing, they realize, hey, this isn't so bad, and actually it's really enjoyable. And it was funny, I was listening to you talking about the difference in the WST interview and the Hendry interview, and I think it was Glenn that mentioned about it was lovely in Hendry's interview with Luca, that it just seemed like there were two guys having a chat and they were just relaxing over albeit a very high quality frame of snooker. They were just it was a social sort of activity that they were doing, and I think we don't realize that with the Q Sports that we have, that it's a huge social outlet for people, and we it's got those qualities that we don't enforce enough, we don't lean on enough, and encourage more people to get back involved. And this is something I've noticed, and the feedback has been that participation has been dropping. You guys might know as well, you might have seen it yourself, that venues are closing, and
Yeah,
it's been a real worry that the grassroots is 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 suffering a little, despite the high end of the sport, what Barry Hearn's doing in Matchroom and WST. It's probably at its strongest, and I saw also that interview of Barry talking about going to 20 million of prize money, then 40 million of prize money. But that's great, but we also need to make sure that there's a conveyor belt of the next generation of players coming through. And
yeah.
that was my worry and my motivation behind setting up the platform.
I think that's really good because I do go and play snooker myself once a week, and I've found that snooker halls, I've seen some on television as well, they, they're not very welcoming because you go into them and they're still very sort of dark and glum. So it's not very inviting for people who don't really know what they're doing and haven't been in there before. Sometimes it just takes a bit of a competition or some motivation to get them in there. And I like what you're saying about the next generation because it's all well and good saying we're going to have £1 million tournament winner one day. That's no good if no one's playing.
Exactly. And I would listen to a good few of the podcasts, and a lot of the time when they bring on one of the pro players and someone who's been really successful, one of the first questions I'll ask is, how did you get involved in snooker or pool or whatever? And you know what the staple answer tends to be is, my dad brought me down, or my uncle, or somebody, and an older figure who played themselves brought them in and got them involved in it. But if we're not, that's the worry, that we're going to miss out on the next generation being brought into those venues if these grassroots venues aren't there, or there's not enough people playing the game anymore. And
at least in the UK, I feel sort of that's the way it's going anyway.
Yeah, and like I say, I did some research, quite a bit of research before setting this up, and a lot of people, when you ask them that did play and stopped playing, you ask them why, and they said, well, my mate stopped playing, so I didn't go either. So in a way, we're losing players in pairs, and
Yeah.
I think the big thing is that we make people comfortable going to venues because they know the people that are there. Like Phil, you mentioned about you play once a week. Have you noticed too many people coming into venues and saying, "I'm here. I've never been here before. Anyone fancy a game?"
No, it's only small. There's only small could go to in Hyde, in Greater Manchester. Shout out to Hyde Snooker and Social Club instantly. Actually, really good facilities, even if it could do with like a paint. But the first 2 weeks I went there, it was a weekday afternoon, admittedly, so I knew it'd be quieter, but I was amazed finding the first 2 weeks I went there, I was the only person in there the entire time.
Yeah, it's.
And then went in there last week, and there was actually quite a few people there. There was a few girls playing together. There was what looked like a kid and his dad.
Yeah, and
some other little figure.
It's not just the sort of the view or the perception of snooker clubs that are putting people off. It's also the worry that they're going to go down there and play against a seasoned player who is just going to make them look silly. So I think that's a big thing that I want to bring through in the platform as well and start developing, is a more uniform type of handicap system that if we can get enough clubs to sign up to it, that similar to the golf handicap system, where you can turn up to any club and say, I'm playing off plus 20 in a game of snooker or something, and someone else says, well, I'm off plus 5. Okay, so we know, and we're going to have an even enough game. We'll get a frame that comes down to the colors to decide it. You know, that sort of a situation encourages people to keep coming and keep playing. But if you're going along and just getting embarrassed, I suppose, a little bit because of your just lack of this, or you're not a frequent player, then you're less likely to come back again, aren't you? So we need to find some way of giving players attainable goals that if they keep practicing, I can become a plus 15 player or a plus 10 player after a while. So that's another goal that I have for Pack of Reds.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that really stood out to me when I was looking at it, the handicap system. Like it will definitely, as you said there, like you can aim for maybe a plus 10 or plus 15, whatever you're starting on. It's something to aim for and a goal to achieve. It's a lot better than just going in and maybe getting well bet every time. Like you've nothing really to go for to improve, but if you've got a handicap that you're trying to improve maybe each week or each month, whatever it is, it's an achievable goal, and I think that's what everyone wants, something to work towards.
Yeah. I think that's something that's really been missing from grassroots for at very least as long as I've known. Performance and progress advice, because obviously if you get regular coaching, like say Michael Holt, just as an example, or anyone else who does coaching, they can tell you how much progress you're making in terms of your technique, but they can't tell you how much progress you're making in terms of playing. And also, what happens if you're not getting coaching? You know, how many youngsters who are wanting to get into the game are going to have coaching immediately?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This,
that's true.
I really love the fact that there is some sort of progress that you can see. So you can have something tangible, you can look at it, and you can think, yeah, this is where I'm improving, this is where I need to go, and this is what I need to improve on. I think that's the important thing because then it does motivate you more.
Yeah, and that's what I say about attainable goals as well. You're more likely to go seeking that coaching
Mm.
if you have a goal that is within reach. You know, you're not. We're but if I was to put it in a golf context, it would be we're currently set up that it's somebody who's going down the driving range and the next attainable goal for them is to win the US Masters. It's not. There's a lot of steps in between that we
Yeah,
can set up for them, and everybody likes to win. Everybody likes to be in contention for things. So, if, with a proper handicap system, we can have different grades of competitions. We can have a junior, an intermediate, and a senior level, different divisions. All of that for individual players, and they know that if I practice a bit more, if I get into a club for another few hours a week, then I can win my division and go to the next level.
yeah. Now, I just want to say I've been looking at your website because if we're going to have guests on here, I want to have a look at what they've done, that kind
Yeah.
of thing. I look at your website. First, I'd just like to say, I'm not just saying this because you're here, but the website is very good.
Thank you.
For something that's just been launched, it is properly good.
Thank you. Yeah,
So,
and lots more I want to do. I want to make it more clear how people can set up competitions for their fundraisers, for charity fundraisers, for clubs, just to see how it can help manage their club in terms of gathering in the memberships and being able to set up leagues and flyers on a regular basis with little need for management on their part. That it reduces all of the admin that's needed, but um, with competitions, I think that's how we keep people coming back frequently and make them more healthy financially so that they can improve their facilities maybe and um, just to guarantee that they're going to be around.
Yeah, I think if anyone is like viewing your website for the first time, it's very clear. You just get your point across what the Pack of Reds is about, and I think
yeah,
it works very well.
everything's very easy to find.
Yeah,
And talking finding, I think what I like the most about it is where you've got where to find clubs and venues. Because I think that's another thing that isn't really explored. It's a big barrier to entry. You know, say a mum or dad wants to take their son or daughter down to a snooker club because they're interested. But guess what? Mum or dad, they're working all week. They've not got hours and upon hours to troll through the internet to find clubs when there's no real directory for it. So just having something that says these are clubs that are somewhere near you, I think is a great idea.
Yeah, I think that's it. The first plan I had was a competitions platform, but then when I got to think about, well, it needs to be hosted on a website. What more could I put on the website that just again makes it as easy as possible for someone to get involved in the game? Anyone who wants to play on a social basis or anything like that. And I want to give a shout out to snookerhub.co.uk as well, who have also do something like that within uh, a very comprehensive list of different venues in the UK. And I actually got chatting with Michael earlier in the week, and we both have the same goals type of thing. So I just want to give him a shout out as well because he's done a lot of hard work already.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've all our parts to play. I think everyone on here loves snooker. We want to see it
Yeah.
grow
And
in terms
that's
of
the thing.
participations. Yeah.
That's the thing. We all love the sport. ultimately, when we can, I've said this before, I do my fair share of moaning about it, but when we're complaining about sport, really the reason we're complaining is because we love the sport and we want it to be better. We want it to be more accessible. We want it to be easier to progress. We want it to be more inviting to everybody.
Hmm. Oh yeah, absolutely. And I think that the high end of the game, the premium level players, I think the more that people actually play the game, the more of an appreciation they get for what they're seeing. And
Yeah.
it's like I caught a bit of Ishpreet and Luke Purcell playing last night, and the last final frames, and I thought it interesting that I think it was Neil Foles said, and we're an hour and a half into this match, and we're into the eighth frame. Now, I've played frames where we're just down to we're still three reds on the table when there's an hour and a half gone. So it just gives you an understanding of how good these players are.
Yeah,
And I think it's almost like a symbiotic relationship that the more players that we get playing the game, the more appreciation we get for the high end of the game, and they also um, they're driving more people to get involved in the game, so they can. It's I think they can work together very much so.
yeah, I think that's really good. So just change subject slightly, Stephen. I know we've talked about this a bit via messages on Twitter, but just for everyone who's listening, what's your background in terms of work and how did you come to a point where you decided, right, what I want to do in my work is I want to create this website?
Sure. So, bit of a varied background career-wise, and going from construction to children's book publishing. But I suppose my most recent is I've spent 10 years working in Google, working on the ad sales side, and um, working with some of the world's largest advertisers across different industries, working with Adidas and Apple and Samsung and all of those, and really seeing how much those companies embrace technology to improve their offerings or how they sell. So it it made me get a deep appreciation for the role of technology in business and in what it can do to with people. And all the time harboring my love of cue sports and snooker and pool. And it just over time it occurred to me, well, why isn't snooker really embracing sports tech in the same way that other sports are, that cycling has done with Strava and Runkeeper has done to people who are going out running and Couch to 5K and things like that. Why are we not connected through technology at the very least? So I saw this as an opening, and yeah, I just decided I'd done 10 years in Google, and I probably I felt after COVID and everything, and I was doing quite long commutes. Said, you know what, I'm going to give this a go, and I left Google and decided to do this.
Well, I think it's really good that you're going to go and using what you learned in your work to really, I feel, benefit the sport. And I
Hmm.
really do like it.
Yeah, and it's an idea. It's something I've poured my heart and soul into at this stage, but I really recognize it's going to need a lot of people to adopt it and really help out with it as well. It's going to take people maybe speaking to their own snooker clubs, maybe talking about what they've heard, uh, maybe players that play socially at the minute going into their workplace and saying, why don't we have a league amongst us in work, and things like that, or people uh, that are coaching in a football team that need a new set of jerseys for their team, saying, listen, why don't we set up a snooker competition in our local club and we charge an extra £5 an hour, and we take that surplus and we raise monies for those jerseys. All of that, but with all of those things that they do, that's new people picking up cues, new people giving it a go, and that's the hope anyway.
Yeah, and it's not like there isn't the call for something like this. It's not like there aren't things happening already. You see things like I know there's thing ongoing in Woking with Q Sorry that's ongoing. And you got the Northern Snooker Centre pro-ams, things like that. That there are these events going that invite anyone for a small fee, and I feel like they would all benefit from something like this, just for a bit more exposure and just you have to be the Northern Pro-Am more accessibility than you might see it if you follow David Grace on Twitter.
Yeah.
I just feel like all these things could benefit from a website like yours, Stephen. Just not just to organise the tournaments better, but to get the word out there, to encourage younger players to think, I might give this a go. I'll probably lose to nil. I might only pass a couple of balls, but you never know. I might be able to compete with some of these better players, and I'm going to learn something. And most importantly, it's fun. Because at the end of the day, we're not
Sorry, you
playing
just broke up
at that age, especially the young. At that age, they're not going to be playing snooker because they expect to be world champion immediately.
Absolutely, and I think that's what we're missing. We're missing the overall.
Fancy?
Yeah, but it's a taster.
Yeah. We just need youngsters to get a taster and think, actually, this is kind of fun. I want to do this again, and now I know where to go for it and what the progression is.
I think it's the same as everything like that's starting off. It's going to need like a bit of pushing or just to get the word out there that this is an option. But then when people actually see the system in play, there will be more interest in it. Definitely, it's just getting it off the ground first. It's just going to have to be pushed a little bit, but it's the same with everything that's starting off.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I want to just quickly call out the national governing bodies over here in Ireland, the SBI in Southern Ireland, NIBS in the north, have been really helpful and really supportive in promoting it among all of the venues and across the island, and they can see the benefits of this and really, really supportive. And like also my local snooker club, it's a place called Drogheda, and it's in the south of Ireland, just above Dublin, and Potters, who have allowed me to test it fully and get fully in behind it over the past few months. And yeah, everybody, I can't say enough about the snooker public. Everybody is so passionate about what we want to achieve in the game and how we want to expose it to more and more people, that everyone has been fully encouraging me, including yourselves, for allowing me to come on to this podcast to drive forward with this. So thank you.
Oh, that was just my phone. You still there, Stephen?
Sorry, I'm here. Yeah, sorry, I missed a question. What was that?
No, I didn't ask questions. Just saying, so my phone just went off.
Yeah, no, I'm still here.
We're not always this professional, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I've listened to all the podcasts so far, all three now, and I think you're doing a great job. I'm highly.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Compliments all come today. So, well, yeah, I think last thing I've got to say about it is just that I'm really impressed. I know it's exclusive to Ireland at the moment, but I really hope that it works out well and you do get to expand it at some time. Because I really do think this is the start of doing something in terms of improving the grassroots and almost reviving the sport. Because the grassroots are strong in China at the moment, where it's taught in schools and the like. But outside of that, it's tough to see where players are really coming through.
Well, Europe, this is what I was saying earlier. Like, the European scene is quite strong compared to the British scene of up-and-coming youngsters. That's why we need to focus our attention more so on European events, in my opinion.
It's why I wanted us to speak about it in that first, the first episode is what I really wanted to put that forward, because it's something that I'm very, very passionate about. And, I would hope that if Stephen does manage to bring this over to this country, if you need any help with anything, I'm more than happy to try and get on board, because it's just really a really, really good thing. We do need to get them. We do need to get them involved, and we just don't seem to be doing that.
No, like I've got one snooker hall in my town, and every time I go there, it's absolutely packed, and I have to basically book now. You can't just turn up like I used to a few years back. So the pandemic, it was open through the pandemic when it was allowed, and I feel like just loads of people went there because it was open. It was something to do, and also because snooker was on the telly when other sports weren't. So, like, business seems to be booming in my small town for the one snooker hall that we've got. They've given it all new cloths. They put new lights above the tables. They built like a new area where the pool tables are, and like it's really good to see. I love going there and seeing it absolutely packed.
Yeah.
I think when I seen Stephen's idea come out first, like the first thing I thought is like it can only be a good addition to the sport, and it's badly needed. So, we keep an eye on it and hoping that it's a success, because I think it's a really good thing for the sport.
Yeah, it's the kind of idea that makes you think, why has no one done this before? Is it just that no one? But it can't be that no one else who's a snooker fan in the UK or Ireland even knows anything about software or building a website, because there's plenty of website builders out there. Is it just that people are too nervous to, or they don't know how they promote it? Why has no one come up with this before now?
But I put so much burden on World Snooker. I think there should be a directory on World Snooker website of be able to search England, Wales, Scotland, Ireland, and brings up a list. You can enter your postcode, and it'll bring up all the snooker halls or whatever in your area or what's close by. Yeah. That would be a given. If I was working in World Snooker, that's one of the things I'd be like, okay, we need to let everyone know where they can play snooker in their town. And they don't do it. It's fallen to fans of the sport to pick up the slack.
Yeah, I think there's snooker is a bit of an anomaly of a sport in the way that it doesn't manage its grassroots as well. The organization doesn't manage the grassroots. It's not, if you had soccer where the FA go look after it, from Premier League right down to the council pitch games on a Sunday. They look after all of that. Whereas snooker, it seems we have the WST and a number of different associations and things like that that look after maybe the premium or premium amateur levels, and the actual venues and things like that are left to private ownership and for people just to run on an individual basis, I suppose. So we're missing that, and hopefully the likes of this platform can sort of connect those and make it
fill in the gaps.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, just to fill in answer a couple of the points. I think Catherine and maybe I was putting this across that I do actually put across on the site that this is an Irish testing site, but I'm no objection to bringing it to the UK straight away. If there's opportunities to test it and things like that. If anybody listening wants to try it or anything like that, I'm happy to talk to anybody and to get that up.
I'm not technically minded, so I don't really know anything, but I have friends who build websites and do technical things like that. So there's, I do have contacts in that sense, but me personally, I couldn't do anything. But I could obviously get you a list of snooker halls in Wales and things, but that you could obviously do that also. But I'd love to get involved, anything that's snooker related. To sort of to make it better. I'm there.
Same.
It's got to be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
it does feel like there does need to be a firmer governing body for the grassroots, because WST and WPBSA, out of outside of obviously the professional ranks, and then things like Q School, the Q Tour, the WSF Championships. Outside of that, it really doesn't. It really does just feel like the Wild West of, well, we don't know who keeps the law. So I do think there needs to be some sort of shake up where there's a governing body that do focus on the grassroots and have a link to, yes, these are all the snooker halls near where you live. You can type in, even if it's just powered by Google Maps, for God's sake.
And I don't know if anyone knows, but like, are there any actual snooker halls that are owned or anything by World Snooker or WPBSA, or are they all just people who are fans of snooker who set up a snooker hall, or snooker players who set up a snooker hall? Because why aren't there WST snooker halls dotted around, like, I don't know, like places like Sheffield or London, that offer all these like amateur competitions that they actually officially run in their own sort of buildings, their own snooker halls?
Well, as far as I'm aware, no, there's none that are officially owned by WST or WPBSA, but you wouldn't know because there's no information anywhere.
Yeah.
The
It's like,
outside of going to come outside of spending your entire day going on company's house and typing in the name of every single snooker hall in the UK.
Yeah.
There's no actual way of finding out.
One day I might, because I'm that petty. I'll just find out. But no, like, why isn't it that's the thing? Why haven't we got snooker academies? We've got the Chinese guys have run a snooker academy. Ronnie runs a snooker academy in Thailand or something that's similar, some place. And it's left down to that. Why don't we have the governing body of snooker opening snooker halls and snooker academies?
Yeah.
Like they probably feel like it'll operate at a loss, but they're going to be at a loss when no new talent comes through.
I think, would you rather be running at a loss for a little while, or
I think I said that on the first episode, yeah.
Or will you have a sport die in 10, 15 years?
Yeah.
Because there physically are not enough people coming through for the tour to actually mean anything.
No, because say 5 to 10 years, like, Ronnie, Mark, John, all gone. Trump, Selby, Robertson, Maguire, all the 40 plus players, they're not going to. Who's left?
Exactly. You do have good players in their 20s and 30s, but you can't build this sport purely off them because they're not going to last forever. You need to constantly be thinking, so 1 or 2 generations of players ahead. You need to be thinking, right, are we doing enough to ensure that, say in 30 years, everybody who is a professional now is no longer a professional? Are we doing enough to ensure that there are new faces and new names coming through?
Yeah, it'll just be like a dying era, I guess. We've had ups and downs of eras, stronger, some weaker. I just feel like we'll enter a whole new era of just a weaker talent. Not, that's horrible to say, but like weaker talent, I guess. I don't know.
That's the thing, though. You want the world tour to be the absolute cream of the crop, the best players in the world fighting it out, not we scrape together a load of people off the street.
Yeah. And another thing, like, go back. Sorry, carry on.
We're going to skip the last 64 because we could only find 31 players who still play the sport.
Yeah.
Lorenzo, I know what you're saying about the actual venues owned by WST, and the SBI in Ireland have a beautiful facility of their own that has 8 star tables and soon to be 10. But at the same time, maybe in terms of putting in efforts to grow the game, it should be about getting as many venues spread out, have high quality venues as opposed to individual venues in every region where people have to travel a distance to get to. That could be one of the things that we could focus on for this time.
But like, there's also promotion as well, because like, you know, you open a snooker hall, you expect people who, you know, like snooker to look and to turn up, but what are they actually actively doing then to bring in new people? You know, I've never had a flyer through the door saying there's a snooker center 5 minutes up the road and with a picture, this is what it looks like.
Yeah,
you know, someone might pick that up, a little kid at their doorstep. What's this? What's snooker? And then they get explained. Oh, I'd like to go there, so they get taken. You know, like, I feel like I just feel like there's no actual promotion.
Yeah,
right? And even promotion of somebody who did win something. You know, is there enough going into the local papers of photos of a kid that did win, and next thing his mates all have a little bit of envy and they want to have a go at it as well or something.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's
just
a lot that we can do with this sport, and it truly is a global sport. So we've so much opportunity. We're not harnessing it at all.
And there's people out there who don't even realize they love snooker because they don't know what snooker is yet. That's how I feel. It's like there's a whole new bunch of people waiting to discover snooker.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, so, which I know we moan and bitch about BBC, you know, like we have to turn over and press the red button and everything, but you know, like that is still a big deal. That someone you can just switch on BBC in the house and like the snooker is on and people will see it, you know, and like if we lose that, that's going to be an issue as well. Yeah. So I don't want the World Championship to move. You know, there's all these other little elements in between all of this as well that I feel it does not bode in well. And I worry for the sport.
I'm firmly of the opinion that it's such a great sport. It's an addictive sport, and if we can just get people through the doors and lift in the queue again, and in an environment where they're comfortable, that they're not feeling intimidated by the season, by playing against tougher opponents all of the time, then we start getting those people coming, and we start getting their friends coming, and we start getting their children coming, and their wives, and we're growing the sport again. We're taking it in the right direction.
Yeah, like this. I don't know when they played snooker like outdoors. You know, I was thinking last time the World Championship was around and some of the players went around. I don't know why they don't set up like a table in the middle of like Sheffield town centre, just a little bit away from the venue, so people see people walking past and you can take a shot on it like you would like play a piano in a shopping mall or something like that. You know, like make it accessible to the public while events are on, so people get to see it. Or send one of the players out to do incredible trick shots. Sorry, the seagull's going mental. You could probably all hear it. He's agreeing with me. He's like, yes, promote snooker.
Exactly. Seagulls love snooker.
They do. Or pigeons, rather. Yeah, I'm going to have to go inside. This is going to ruin everyone's podcast.
It's not. What's going to ruin podcast is I'm losing concentration because I'm busy keeping an eye on the deciders between Mertens and Gilbert.
I think the feud deciders on at the minute.
Yeah.
It's
gone down to Brown.
Yeah, Williams and Jimmy Robertson's a decider as well, and so is Williams and Luke Purcell.
Yeah.
All the deciders today.
Meanwhile, Anthony Hamilton's 4-1 down and has responded by committing GBH with some of the balls. Just threw one of the reds across the table. But yeah, back on topic. I think we're going to finish soon, but it is a brilliant idea of your scene. And the thing is, there's so much that we can do to promote the sport. You know, why aren't there official places subsidised by WST or WPBSA where people can go and play?
Yeah, that's what I was on about.
They don't see it as part of their remit at the minute, and that they're busy with what they're doing of their own goals.
Yeah.
Like we know that WST is. I listened to the interview with Tom Morrell, who I actually met a few months ago when he was over at a conference in Dublin, and he listed out all of the things that he had to do for the minute. So I think if the grassroots, unfortunately, is a long way down his to-do list.
Yeah, I think I said this last time, but it's been solely relied on from all the youngsters coming through from China. You know, because they've got their academies, they learn it in school, they're churning them out, and like they're all awesome, and like there's a bunch of like young Chinese players, but like we're not jumping on Europe. That's my problem. We've got a Belgian world champion now. When will we ever have another one? And they're doing nothing about it.
Plus,
And there was the interview with Barry Hearn where he talked about snooker is growing. It's not growing in the UK and Ireland. And so
Yeah.
from their point of view, we're doing a great job. Snooker is growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it is a case of where does the next one come from? You know, I know we talk about people like Ronnie and Williams being irreplaceable, but it's where does the next Ronnie O'Sullivan come from? Where is the next naturally gifted player like nobody else?
Yeah. Like, where is the class of '92 coming now?
Exactly.
You know, there's the one. Will we ever get a Mark, a Ronnie, a John, a Joe Perry, and a Stephen Lee all coming through at the same time from Britain?
That's the question. So I think that what you're doing, Stephen, is absolutely fantastic. I can only wish you the best of luck with it. I hope to stay in touch with you on social media at least so that I can hear about the brilliant work that you're doing and how it's going along.
Thanks, Phil. I really appreciate that, and for all the support you've given so far.
So I think that's where we end it.
Just
want to thank everybody.
If I could quickly just say that if anyone wants to get in touch, check us out on social media for packofreds.com or info@packofreds.com. And
are you on Twitter as well?
Yeah, Twitter as packofreds.com and
cool.
Facebook.
Yeah.
I've still to ramp up the Instagram, but it's there as well as packofreds.com.
Cool.
Yeah.
I highly recommend checking the website out. Even if it's just for curious look for 5 seconds, I do recommend it because Stephen is doing some truly brilliant stuff. But that's all we've got time for on this episode of ReRacked. And just to update everyone, Dave Gilbert's just won. Damn it. So
I can't be mad at that. I like Dave Gilbert as well.
I like Dave, but I really wanted Big Ben to win.
Yeah. I think Luke has survived as well. He's finished for the century, so that's pretty good.
Just quickly have a look at the scores. Yeah, Luke has won. Mark Williams is on the verge of winning.
Good. I'm glad.
You need to save your energy for tonight now, don't you?
Yeah.
I know. That's why I've not I switched Judd off because I can't deal with this. I've got to watch John later. Oh, the roller coaster. I'll never get off it.
The highs and lows of being a John Higgins fan.
I know. I know too well.
So that's where we're going to end it. Want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank Lorenzo for his invaluable contributions during his time on the podcast.
I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Anything that you go on to do next is a massive success. And we'll still keep in touch regularly on the old Twitter.
Absolutely. I'm not going anywhere.
Really want to thank Stephen for agreeing to come on and promote his things. I'd say really pleased with how it's going along. Really excited to see where it goes next. And I just can't understate how good an idea it is.
Thanks, Phil. Much appreciated. And I'm always going to be the first guest you ever had, so I'm delighted.
Yep, and hopefully not the last. So, just before we go promote our socials, you can find me at M18Snooker. That's M for mother, 18 Snooker. You can find this podcast at ReRacked Pod. It's the ReRacked official Twitter page. just in case anyone's trying to capitalise on our success. Anyone else want to promote their socials, just in case people have forgotten?
Yeah, Snooker365. So for any scores or snooker news, you can find it on Snooker365.
Missy Walker, as usual. I'm there.
You guys anything to promote, Lorenzo? Twitter?
Oh, just in the balls. I think at 147. That's where you can find me.
Can find you on Twitter as well, Stephen.
Yeah, absolutely. Packofreds.com on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn as well, actually. Thank you.
That's fantastic. Until next time, see you all next time. I really need to find a better way to close this out, don't I?
You need your own version of goodbye bye.
Yeah, exactly. Until next time, keep queuing. I'm looking for strictly.